guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week we're just going to do a quick walk around of the Eclipse. I had time this last weekend to get those side skirts painted. We'll talk a little bit about that process, but first let's go ahead and walk around the car and see the finished product. I'm going to go ahead and start by telling you guys that really this whole body kit didn't fit quite as well as I thought that it would. And I think 100% of the reasoning for that is because it's an old kit. I mean, this car is a 1999. I have no idea when the previous owners bought this body kit and really how they stored it. You know, when I bought the car, the rear bumper and both side skirts were kind of tucked in the back corner outside under some pallets and stuff. It wasn't really stored well. So I think they'd sort of been warped and bent and folded and whatever, and they just didn't fit well. And so we're going to talk about the back bumper here. This is the factory back bumper. We went ahead and put this one back on, and I'll show you why in a little bit, but let's start with the side skirts. It's raining, so forgive me if I don't know, everything's just getting wet. My phone's getting wet and everything, so hang in there with me, but we'll look at these side skirts. Basically, they fit pretty good. I did have to do some trimming. You're going to see that the color is slightly off. And again, I mean, I don't know how long this car has been painted purple. They basically told me the paint code. I found the exact paint from the same person that they bought it from. So it should have mixed the same. It should have been the same really across the board. The color is really, really close, but it's not 100% perfect. And I mean, it's good enough. I guess really what it comes down to is this is a first car for my daughter. So it doesn't have to be a show car that's absolutely flawless. And I keep trying to remind her of that. So we're doing the best we can. You know, basically the side skirt, because of, again, warping and things like that, I did have to put a screw in here and another one up there. I don't love that, but it does keep it nice and tight to the body and everything fits really, really well. We did kind of shave in here so that the door can open and close without too much interference. We also put in some mesh that matches what we had on the front bumpers. And then what I did was behind the mesh, you can't really tell just because of the lighting, but I actually painted just a black square or rectangle kind of behind that mesh. So it doesn't look purple through there. That's just kind of a silly attention to detail thing. But I mean, really, again, I'm not disappointed in how the side skirts fit. It really enhances the look. They flare out a little ways, both on the front and the back, and they look really nice. And so here's, you know, kind of the other side. Same story. I mean, it fits pretty good. I did not need to use that second screw, so there's only one right here. I didn't need one up there. It stayed pretty good. But same story with the mesh and the black square behind it. Now, if we walk around to where the back bumper is, you're gonna see that, again, this is just the factory rear end. We had the body kit on there. What I'm gonna do is actually show you one more thing real quick. I disassembled the spoiler and I painted these end caps. And I mean, there you can kind of see purple, same color as the car. Oh, and then this section here, I also did go ahead and spray this section of the car, so no more discoloration from where the old spoiler was. We did not cap these, we just kind of put screws back in there and painted over them, and so at least they're all purple. Looks 1,000 times better. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this rear bumper. Well, at least it's drier in the garage. But so this is the rear bumper, this is the body kit bumper, and as you can see, it is purple. Now, I saw on TikTok a while back that, I'm gonna actually just turn here. I saw on TikTok a while back, this gal that drives a 350Z, and what she had done is she'd ordered a body kit, and the whole purpose of her video was to show that these body kits are kind of a flexible, plasticky, rubbery material. And actually this front bumper that she ordered for her 350Z came in a box that was square. It wasn't a big rectangle. It wasn't the size of the bumper. It was actually like a, you know, maybe a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cube box. And she shows herself opening the box, pulling this thing out, laying it, unrolling it, and leaving it in her driveway for a couple hours so it heats up. And then she installs it on her car. I think that's exactly what these kits were. I think this bumper, and actually I'll show you why I think that, but it is a flexible material. It does, I've got water dripping off my head. That rain was bad. It is a flexible material. And so when I started researching, what to do about the paint, because I was really concerned the paint wasn't gonna stick, I learned that they sell a adhesion promoter type of primer. And basically you coat this with this adhesive promoter, and it's a white primer, at least that's what I used, and I'll insert a picture here. But this white primer, you basically just lay down a quick layer of it, and the paint then sticks to it, but it somehow changes the chemical makeup of the paint so that it can flex and bend, kind of like paint on a modern day car. I mean, if you push in on a plastic bumper on a Toyota Corolla, the bumper just kind of concaves in. The paint doesn't necessarily chip out or anything like that. It just sort of molds and flexes with the bumper. That's what I was able to achieve here. So, we talked about these side skirts being a little bit floppy. I'd argue that they are, but they're gonna hold this paint, I think, pretty well. And whoever painted the front bumper on the Bodykit did a great job, same story. They must have used an adhesion promoter to keep that paint from essentially just flaking off and chipping every time it flexes and bends. This back bumper, I have not buffed, polished, cut, anything. I have not wet sanded it. It's just pure raw. Literally painted it, got it mounted on the car. I'm gonna now insert a couple of pictures of how poorly it fit. You're gonna see that it does not line up at all with the stock quarter panels. And underneath the passenger, actually I guess it was the driver's side tail light, there's a huge gap. It didn't really line up on either side, but on the driver's side especially, I could almost fit my entire hand underneath the tail light between the bumper. It was really bad. So I did a TikTok about it. If you guys follow me on there, you can go watch it. But I basically just said, don't buy this bumper. This is not a good bumper. I don't love how it just didn't fit the way I would expect it to, considering how expensive this body kit is. If I were to go buy this kit today, the rear bumper, the front bumper, and the side skirts are just north of $800 on eBay. And then you gotta pay shipping on top of that. So you're really looking at somewhere around $1,000 for a couple of bumpers and side skirts. And I have to say, for that kind of money, I would expect them to fit a whole lot better. So I wouldn't recommend it. If you guys are watching this because you have an Eclipse or you want to do this to your Eclipse, just be cautious, right? Again, it could have been because this kit was bought 20 years ago. I have no idea. But the back bumper didn't work for us. It just didn't fit. So what we're going to end up doing is putting some splitter canard type of pieces at the bottom back corner. I mean, here, I'll kind of turn around here. You can see like right here on the corners on the outside of the exhaust tip on right behind the tire, and then opposite side there. I'll do another video about that once I have them and once they're installed. But they're a faux carbon fiber, so they're gonna match the hood wrap, they're gonna match the spoiler wrap. I think they're gonna look okay. It's gonna lower the rear end appearance without actually lowering the car. This body kit bumper is about 2 inches shorter, lower than the factory. So from the side angle, yeah, the rear end looks quite a bit higher than it should. So I think these extensions are gonna look really, really nice. So if we get back over to the bumper here, you're gonna see it does have kind of a matte finish. Again, hasn't been buffed and polished or any of that stuff. There's an incredibly raw hole here that I had to cut for the tail lights, right? So that we can illuminate the bump or the license plate. But there's some screw holes and things. I had the reverse lights mounted and working and everything was fine. This right here, this waviness right here is my concern. And I think because of this, it was sucking the edges of the bumper in. And I think that's a big reason as to why it wasn't fitting the way it's supposed to. So again, I gotta blame it on this thing just being stored outside, exposed to the elements, exposed to the weather and the heat and the cold and all those things. It's just disappointing because and especially after I painted it, yeah, it just doesn't work. So I now have it listed on Facebook Marketplace. Hopefully somebody can finagle it, make it work, cut it up. I don't care. Fit it to a different car, whatever. You know, I'm not going to use it and I don't want to store it. And I really think it's too nice to throw away, but it just doesn't fit our Eclipse. And so the long and short of it is we're working around it and making it work. But all in all, the car's coming together real nice. She is thrilled. My daughter is just pleased as all get out. We're excited it's coming along. And so she's getting antsy to get out there and drive it. And we're getting close. So stay tuned, more to come on this car. Got underglow to install next. And then she has some racing bucket seats and some new brackets coming that'll be a direct swap. So we're gonna get that stuff all in and installed before too long. And then of course, you know, just detailing, cleaning, fixing it up, little bits and pieces here and there. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a first car and we are doing everything on a shoestring budget. So I'm having to sell off some of these old parts, you know, realistically to recoup money for the underglow and the spoiler and the hood and whatever, all these things that we've done to the car. I'm trying to offset by selling old stock parts. So I'm going to have some stock seats available. I obviously have this bumper. I have the stock front hood. That's about all I have left. Everything else has been sold off. I did finally sell the Lambo doors kit that came with the car, as well as a few other things. So it's coming along. But anyway, all in all, it's looking really nice. We're getting excited. So let me know in the comments. Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Is there something you'd want to do differently? What do you think of the 99 Eclipse in general? Is it a car that's overrated? I think to some regard it is, but otherwise, you know, let me know. So like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell. Most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.